Just how perfect does a plane have to be before it'll work? Well, you've seen the still pictures. You've seen that I sharpen the blade with red resin 220 grit sandpaper. Not much of an edge on it. Enough. The plane itself had a pretty hard life. When I got this in a box with 16 other planes, it averaged out to about $2 a plane. This is the Sargent brand. Actually has quite a few innovations. It's got the little adjustment screw down here, which we won't go into because they don't need to. We have the wheel adjustment. It actually anchors the frog down with 3 bolts, which is one more than Stanley uses. Makes it a little more secure. But evidently, whoever had this plane before I did, dropped it. They brazed that crack. They've also brazed up the frog. They must have dropped it pretty good. They snapped off the top of the frog and broke the front frame. The front of the bed is lined up pretty well with the back part of the bed. You can see that there's still a hollow spot right here. And there's a nick where they didn't quite fill in the whole thing with the braze. But I ran it over the same sandpaper that I used to sharpen the blade with. And it came out fairly good. I haven't even touched this. This is just used to clamp down the blade. I'm going to assemble this right now. This blade is normally going to have about that much of the tool steel left on it beyond this notch. That says that this blade is just about worn out. It's almost up to the point of the cap steel. Put it in there with the screw facing down into the pocket. The notch goes into the little slot there, and that allows the adjustment bolt to reach up in there. That little lever arm right there reaches into that notch and allows you to slide the blade back and forth in the body of the tool. So we make sure that's over the notch. Head of the screws in the hole, and that this little tab here goes into that slot so that you can wiggle the blade sideways back and forth. That helps you to align the blade. This piece drops over the bolt head, slides down, and clamps. That locks the blade in place. And the blade wants to protrude just a little bit past that. So we're going to crank this. And that's going to pull on this lever, push that lever down, and shove the blade out just a bit. Okay, now we're going to add on a piece of wood.
an update for you. Big thank you first of all to Lee Cooper, who have sent me some of their workwear for review. I'm actually wearing some of it at the moment, and I shall be wearing it in future videos and reviewing some of the items along the way. So thank you very much to Lee Cooper. Secondly, thank you to Derek, who took part in the Toolmate 15. He made a strop, well that was one of the projects he did, made a strop, and he commented that I used an MDF strop and didn't use a leather strop. He thought I ought to, and he sent me some leather samples, so I'm going to be making a strop pretty soon. I may video that as well. So thank you, Derek. Another thing that's coming up is I have a popular video on restoring a Stanley
Recently, there was a nice video produced showing how to cut a timber square using a handsaw. Some of the methods and procedures were quite elaborate. I don't want to say anything bad about the person who produced the video. I know him personally. I've had dinner with him. He's a very nice guy, but it's not something that I would ever do.
Night. Here we are walking amongst the meadow muffins. There's buffalo shit everywhere. I don't know if we're gonna make it out of this alive. Eileen can't stop laughing. Yellowstone's smoky tonight. It's smoky. Oh, in the woods. The woods are deep, ominous. There could be a buffalo or beheaded any moment. The evidence is clear everywhere. Markings on the trees, shrubs, and like I said, we're walking amongst meadow muffins, cow pies, that one there, that's fresh. You can tell it's fresh because it's brown.